Caution. The AJ and Quill show contains D&D content and is intended for a D&D audience. And, besides that, they're really weird. Hi everyone and welcome to Total Party Quill. I'm AJ, your friendly neighborhood Tiefling. This is my buddy, Quill the Dragon, and this is your one-stop for Monster Tactics for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Say hi, Quill.
Greetings, puny humans. Do not be afraid, for I do not care for the taste of human flesh.
What does human flesh taste like exactly?
Credit card debt and Netflix.
Anyway, it's June as of the taping of this show, and we all know what that means.
Costco finally put out their Halloween decorations.
Exactly, and in honor of that, we're going to be doing things that are a little bit spookier today. Namely, we're going to be covering some undead, zombies and skeletons. Skeletons and zombies are each a 1/4 of 1 CR undead creature, and they can be found on page 272 and 316 of the Monster Manual, respectively. Now, there are several varieties of undead under those headings, but since their stats are all pretty simple, we're just going to cover them all in one video. So let's dig on in. Quill?
These undead monsters exist to soften the characters up, to force them to use resources and to make subsequent encounters much more dangerous. Skeletons follow the will of whoever created them. They follow their orders to the letter, literally, never questioning them, no matter how dangerous or suicidal their tasks may be. Because of their literal interpretations of their commands and their unwavering obedience, skeletons adapt poorly to changing circumstances. They can't read, speak, emote, or communicate in any way besides a simple nod or maybe pointing. Still, skeletons can accomplish a variety of relatively complicated tasks. A skeleton can fight with weapons, can use armor, they can load and fire a catapult or a trebuchet, they can scale a siege ladder, form a shield wall, and dump boiling oil on invaders. However, it must receive careful instructions explaining how these tasks are to be accomplished. Though they lack the intelligence that they possessed in life, skeletons are not mindless. Rather than break its limbs trying to bash through a door, it's much more likely to try the handle first, unlike a zombie. If that doesn't work, a skeleton is more likely to search for another way around rather than try to break through. Skeletons do retain some semblance, story-wise, of their previous lives. Skeletons without orders or commands may begin to pantomime actions from their former lives. A skeleton miner may pick up a pickaxe and begin chipping away at stone walls. A skeleton guard might strike up a position guarding a doorway. Even a skeletal horse might begin eating grass and whinnying. When skeletons encounter a living creature, the necromantic energies inside them compel them to kill it, unless they receive a command from their master to stop them from doing so. They attack without mercy. They attack to the death. They do not run. They have no morale. They follow their orders, even unto their own destruction.
Right, so let's look at their physical profile. Skeletons have a high dex and constitution, but a lower, much more average strength. This creates the physical profile of a creature that's much more of a DPS and less of a melee tank or bruiser. So this is how combat plays out for a skeleton. They're going to try to engage in combat between 40 and 80 feet away and use their short bows to pepper the player characters until they are engaged in melee combat. Once the player characters engage in melee combat, they switch to their short swords and attack them until either the character is destroyed or they're no longer engaged in melee combat, or they themselves are destroyed. If at any point a player character stops engaging a skeleton in melee combat and either backs up or disengages, then the skeleton will immediately switch to using its short bow once again and back up as much as it's able while still keeping the characters or whatever it's targeting in its attack range.
The Monster Manual says that skeletons adapt poorly to changing circumstances and don't deviate from their commands. A skeleton told to guard a room may simply stop attacking the characters if they simply leave the room. As a DM, you can create your own skeleton templates, taking any humanoid or beast and applying these simple changes to it. 1. The creature is undead, does not require food, air, drink, or sleep. It has immunity to poison damage. and it cannot be poisoned. And it has vulnerability to bashing damage.
Right. Now, for zombies, they're also an undead creature, but their physical profile is slightly different than that of a skeleton. For zombies, they have a much higher strength and constitution, and their dexterity is a little lower. This makes the profile of a melee tank. They get into melee range combat, and they hit things, and they don't really move very much. Their physical profile, coupled with their undead fortitude ability, makes them quite resilient in melee combat.
Keep in mind that zombies are not like skeletons. They are mindless undead, animated husks that follow their creator's commands. They have no tactics. They won't pick up a fallen weapon or use items. They take the most direct route to their enemies. They are oblivious to obstacles, terrain, and dangerous items. They are easily tricked, and they are much more likely to come to a closed door and try to smash through it than they are to try to use the latch or go around.
Right. And this actually gives you a great opportunity for a lot of humor inside your campaigns, because player characters, especially if they're very creative, can trick zombies into hurting themselves. They can have them walk across trapped rooms, or fall outdoors, or just chase them into a lava pool. And as a DM, you should absolutely reward characters who are being creative this way. So here's how combat plays out for a zombie. At the start of combat, they'll use all their movement to try to reach whoever their foe is. This includes using the dash action if their own movement will not be enough to reach their enemy. Once they get into melee range with their opponent, they begin hitting them with their melee attacks, and they pretty much keep doing that until either the foe or themselves is destroyed, or their creator tells them to stop. Now, something I do want to touch on is the undead fortitude ability that all zombies have. It's a fun little ability that makes it very thematic on how the zombies are killed. The way that I use this ability is when a player character reduces a zombie to 0 hit points, I have the zombie fall prone. Then I secretly make the roll about whether or not the zombie's undead fortitude is kicked in and it's dead or not. If it's not dead, I have the zombie lie in wait instead as kind of a undead landmine.
Nothing freaks players out more than being attacked by a creature they thought they had already killed. Much like being in a Resident Evil zombie game, as the zombies reach through the floors and walls to get you. Something to be aware of is that Dungeons & Dragons zombies are not Hollywood zombies. Look at their stats. There is no T-virus. If they bite you, you do not become a zombie. If they kill you, you do not raise as a zombie. They are not infectious. But your players don't need to know that.
Now, inside the stat blocks, zombies and skeletons do come in a few different varieties, but they all essentially function the exact same way. They're just intended to be higher CR level encounters for characters of different levels. At a low level, you would use the lower CR skeletons, and at a higher level, you would use the higher ones. Well, that's about it. We hope this helps you get started with some monster tactics for undead zombies and skeletons in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. And we would like to sincerely apologize to our good friend Travis Willingham. Sorry, bud, we just ran out of time. We couldn't get you on the air today. Quill, would you like to send us off with your joke of the day?
Absolutely. What instrument does a skeleton play?
I don't know. What instrument does a skeleton play?
The trombone.
Anyway, say goodbye, Quill.
Goodbye, Quill.
And don't forget to join us next week when our special guest will be the lovely and enchanting Felicia Day.
Wonderful person.
All right, have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Yeah, 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 yeah.